and undeniably there. I need to talk to you about time, because I think time is something that gets misunderstood when people talk about love, and I want to be clear about what I mean when I invoke it. I am not talking about time in the sense of how long we have known each other, or how many shared experiences we have accumulated. I am talking about time in the sense of what I want to do with mine. Because time is the only genuinely non-renewable resource a person has. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose opportunities and find new ones. You can recover from almost anything that the world takes from you. But time moves in one direction only, without pause, without mercy, without any regard for whether you were paying attention or fully present or making the most of it. Every single second that passes is gone completely and forever. And when I think about that truth, when I really sit with the irreversibility of time, the thing it does is make everything feel very clear. It strips away all the noise and the hesitation and the strategic thinking and the what-ifs, and it leaves only the most essential question, which is this: how do I want to spend what I have? And the answer, every single time, without negotiation or ambiguity, is with you. I want to spend it building something with you. I want to spend it in the specific warmth of your presence. I want to spend it learning you, not the version of you that you lead with publicly, but all the subsequent versions. The version of you at your most tired, when every wall is down simply because you don't have the energy to maintain them. The version of you at your most joyful, when something catches you completely off guard and delight moves through you so fast and so completely that for a moment you are nothing but the feeling of it. The version of you in the in-between, the quiet, undramatic, simply existing version that most people never see because most people are only there for the highlighted moments. I want the ordinary moments. I want the full catalog. I want every version of you that exists in sequence over time, for as much time as we are given. Do you understand how rare it is for me to say that? Do you understand what it means coming from someone who has spent most of his life being careful about how much of himself he commits to anything? I have been someone who kept exits visible, someone who never fully unpacked because some part of me was always quietly prepared to move on. Not proudly. I am not telling you this as though it is a quality to admire. I am telling you because it is the truth of who I have been, and it is relevant because of what it means that you are different. You are the first thing in a very long time, maybe the first thing ever, that makes me want to unpack, makes me want to put down roots in one place, in one feeling, in one person, and stop treating permanence like a threat. You make permanence feel like relief. You make staying feel better than leaving. And for someone built the way I have been built, that is not a small thing. That is seismic. That is the ground shifting under everything I thought I knew about myself. I want to tell you what I think you need. And I want to say up front that I could be wrong. I am not claiming to know you completely, and I would never insult you by pretending that I have you fully figured out. But I have been paying attention. I have been paying very close and very quiet attention for long enough to have some sense of the shape of what is missing for you. And I think what you need, underneath all the other things, underneath the practical and the visible, and the easily articulated needs, I think what you need is to be somebody's first thought, not an afterthought, not a consideration that comes after everything else has been arranged, not someone who gets whatever is left over after a person has distributed themselves across everything they consider more important. I think you need to be the thing someone orients their day around, the person they think of first when something happens, the name that arrives automatically, without effort, before any other name. I think you have spent too long being important to people in theory, while being an afterthought in practice. And I think part of you has quietly accepted that, and told yourself it's fine. Told yourself you don't need to be anyone's priority. Told yourself you are happy to take less than that. You are not happy with less than that. You are accustomed to it, which is entirely different. Accustomed means you have adapted. It does not mean it is enough. It does not mean you stopped wanting more. It just means you stopped expecting it, which is one of the saddest forms of surrender I can imagine. Giving up on something not because you no longer want it, but because wanting it has been disappointing you for long enough that hoping started to feel foolish. I need you to hope again. I need you to want what you actually want without apologizing for the size of it or talking yourself into settling for less, because less feels safer. You are allowed to want to be someone's first thought. You are allowed to want to matter that much to someone. And I need you to hear me say, clearly, that you are my first thought. You have been my first thought for longer than I have been willing to admit. Every morning when the day begins and every night when it ends, and in all the unguarded middle moments, when my mind goes wherever it naturally goes, it goes to you. Every time. Without exception. Without effort. Without my permission. Just automatically, like breathing, like the way your eyes move toward light in a dark room. There is a letter inside this letter. A smaller, quieter thing living at the center of everything I have been saying. And I want to draw it out now and put it in front of you plainly. Because everything else I have written, all the careful words and built up paragraphs and honest revelations, they have all been leading to this one simple core. And the core is this. I am in love with you, not falling, not moving in that direction, not experiencing something that resembles love or functions like love or could probably be classified as love under the right conditions. I am in it, fully, already. In the complete non-negotiable, not going anywhere way. I love the specific person you are, not an idealized version of you that I have constructed from the parts I know and extrapolated into something perfect. I love you with the full knowledge that you are not perfect, that you have difficult days and closed off moods and wounds that haven't fully healed and patterns you are still working on. I love you including all of that. In fact, I love you partly because of all of that. Because it is the evidence that you are real, that you are human, that you have lived a full and complicated life that has shaped you into someone with genuine depth and texture and substance. I do not want a simple person. I have never wanted a simple person. I want you exactly as you are in all your beautiful complexity. And I want to love you in the specific ways that you need to be loved, not in the generic ways, not in the one-size-fits all romantic gestures that look good from the outside, but don't actually reach the particular shape of what you need on the inside. I want to learn the specific language of what makes you feel safe and seen and chosen. Because everyone has one. Everyone has a particular combination of things that lands differently for them than it does for anyone else. A specific frequency of love that, when you finally encounter it, feels like hearing your name said correctly for the first time after years of people mispronouncing it. I want to speak your frequency. I want to learn it patiently and practice it carefully and get better at it over time until it becomes natural, until loving you in exactly the right way becomes as instinctive and effortless as everything else about thinking of you already is. Let me tell you what I will never do. I will never make you feel like a burden for having feelings. I will never respond to your vulnerability with impatience or dismissal, or the particular cruelty of making you feel dramatic for feeling things that are completely real. I will never make you feel like you are too much, because you are not too much. You have simply been around people with too little capacity, and that is not the same thing, and it is not your fault. I will never go quiet on you without explanation and leave you sitting in the silence wondering what you did and what changed, and whether you are losing something you were not prepared to lose. I will never be someone you have to decode. I will be someone you can read plainly, because I am going to say the real things clearly and regularly and without making you work for them. I will never treat your love like a given that I have stopped needing to earn. I will earn it every day. I will treat the fact that you chose me, if you choose me, when you choose me, as something that requires my continued gratitude and attention and effort indefinitely. Not because love is a transaction, but because you deserve someone who never stops being glad to have you. And I want to say something about the future.